Game theory is the cheat code to life. You've been there, haven't you? That familiar sting of injustice. You split the bill with friends, but you still feel like you paid for everyone's dessert. You generously offer to help a buddy move, and somehow, you end up single-handedly wrestling a sofa up 3 flights of stairs. Or maybe you're scrolling through dating apps, swipe right, send a thoughtful first text, and poof, you're ghosted. It feels like life's rigged sometimes, right? Like everyone else got some secret instruction manual, and you were left to figure it out in the dark. What if I told you there is a rulebook, not some dusty academic tome, but a dynamic, actionable guide called Game Theory? And here's the plot twist. It's basically the ultimate cheat code for navigating life's tricky situations. In the next few minutes, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you one incredibly simple, yet profoundly powerful idea from game theory. It's a concept you can start using today to stop getting walked all over, to win more of those crucial negotiations, and even to make your relationships, all kinds of relationships, a whole lot less messy. We're not talking about needing a PhD, or crunching numbers on a spreadsheet, or enduring a boring history lesson. Nope, just the cheat code. Pure, unadulterated strategic insight. Think about it. Every single day, you wake up and step onto a silent playing field. You're already knee-deep in countless strategic interactions, whether you realize it or not. Traffic? That's a game. Do you stay in your lane, patiently waiting? Or do you jump into the merge lane at the last second, hoping to shave off a few seconds? Work? Definitely a game. Do you hit reply all and risk annoying everyone? Or do you stay quiet and potentially miss out on making your voice heard? And dating apps? Those are literal games, aren't they? With swipes instead of buttons, and often very unclear rules. The core problem for most of us is that we're making moves without understanding the game's recipe. We're just reacting, or worse, hoping for the best. Game theory, at its heart, is just a way of seeing the ingredients. It's about looking at a situation and figuring out what the other person truly wants and fears, what you truly want and fear, and then picking the move that gives you the best possible outcome. This might sound a little cold, a bit calculating, but it's how humans already operate. We just usually do it on autopilot, often without much success, because we haven't consciously laid out the recipe. It's about being intentional, not manipulative. It's about understanding the invisible threads connecting our choices to other people's reactions, and ultimately, to our own outcomes. Let me introduce you to the poster child of game theory, the prisoner's dilemma. It's a classic for a reason, and once you get it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Imagine this. 2 crooks, let's call them Alice and Bob, get picked up for a crime. The police don't have enough evidence to convict them on the main charge, but they can get them on a lesser one. They separate Alice and Bob and offer each the same deal. Option 1, stay quiet. Cooperate with your partner. If both Alice and Bob stay quiet, they each get just 1 year in jail. Not great, but not terrible. Option 2, rat out your partner, defect. If you rat out your partner while they stay quiet, you walk free today and they get slapped with 10 years. Option 3, both rat each other out. If both Alice and Bob betray one another, they each get 5 years. Still better than 10, but worse than 1. Now, if you're Alice, sitting alone in that interrogation room, what do? The math, the purely rational self-interested choice, says you should always rat. Why? Because if Bob stays quiet, you go free instead of getting 1 year. If Bob rats, you get 5 years instead of 10. In a single one-shot game, snitching looks like the smart move. But here's where real life changes the math. We don't just play this game once. Think of it like this. A one-shot game is like buying a souvenir from a tourist trap kiosk you'll never visit again. They have no incentive to be fair. They can sell you junk because they'll never see you again. But a repeated game is like getting coffee from your local barista you see every morning. They want you to come back, so they'll be friendly and make a good coffee. Reputation becomes currency. When Alice and Bob know they'll face similar situations for the rest of their lives, suddenly, snitching doesn't feel so smart. It feels expensive. That tiny tweak, the simple act of repeating the game, flips the entire strategic landscape on its head. This brings us to one of the most elegant and powerful strategies ever discovered: tit-for-tat. In the 1980s, political scientist Robert Axelrod ran a famous computer tournament. inviting experts to submit strategies for playing the repeated prisoner's dilemma. These programs were pitted against each other for hundreds of rounds to see which strategy would perform best over time. The strategies ranged from incredibly complex and tricky to ruthlessly selfish. Yet, the strategy that crushed the field was shockingly simple: tit-for-tat. It behaves less like a chess grandmaster and more like the perfect dance partner. It operates on just two core rules. Step 1. Open with cooperation. On the very first move, be nice. It's like starting the dance with a simple, friendly step forward, inviting the other person to dance with you. Step 2. Copy whatever the other player did last round. If they stepped forward with you, cooperated, you step forward again. If they stepped back, defected, you instantly step back to match. That's it. No complicated mind games, just mirrored reciprocity. It's so effective because it embodies three crucial traits. It's nice. It starts by offering a handshake, signaling a willingness to build trust. This encourages cooperation. It's quick to retaliate. It doesn't let anyone get away with a cheap shot. It immediately mirrors their bad behavior, showing that exploitation won't be tolerated. It's quick to forgive. The moment the other player returns to cooperation, it immediately does the same. It doesn't hold grudges. This allows the dance to resume even after a misstep. This combination makes tit-for-tat surprisingly successful. It teaches others how to play, encourages good behavior, and punishes bad behavior just enough to bring them back in line, without escalating into an endless revenge spiral. Let's put tit-for-tat to work in a real-world scenario. Salary negotiation. You've aced the interviews, and they offer you $70,000. But you know you're worth $80,000. You counter, and HR responds, "That's the top of our band, sorry." This is often presented as a one-round game. They're defecting from your desired cooperative outcome, hoping you'll cave. Here's the cheat code. You turn it into a repeated game. Your counteroffer of $80,000 backed by data is your opening move of cooperation. You're signaling, "I want to work with you for a fair outcome." If they reiterate their lowball offer without any movement, they've defected. What does tit-for-tat tell you to do? Mirror their move. Don't panic. Don't immediately accept. You slow down your communication. You start actively engaging with other companies. It's like they tried to turn the negotiation into a 100-meter dash, and you've just slowed the pace to a marathon. Suddenly, they have to conserve energy and rethink their strategy. You're not being aggressive. You're simply reflecting their lack of cooperation. 9 times out of 10, something interesting happens. You get another call, often with a slightly higher offer. Why? Because they realize this isn't a one-shot game and you're not just going to roll over. Your consistent mirrored response has pushed them towards cooperation. Tit for tat, now with actual dollars in your pocket. The same code works wonders on the micro battles of daily life. Take the classic roommate dilemma, crusty plates in the sink. You could scream, leading to an argument where no one wins. Or you could go tit for tat. On day 1, you wash your dishes and maybe one of theirs. That's your cooperative opening. Next day, dishes still stacked, your roommate has defected. You mirror. You wash your dishes, but you leave theirs. You're not escalating. You're simply holding up a behavioral mirror, non-verbally saying, "This is what your action looks like. This is the world you're creating." Most people don't like what they see in that mirror and quickly start rinsing their own plates. They learn that their defection won't be rewarded. What if they don't? Then you've learned something valuable and cheap. They're not interested in cooperation. You can stop investing your energy, stop cooperating yourself, find a new room, or adjust your expectations. Problem solved. This applies to group projects too. If a team member free rides after your initial cooperative efforts, you mirror. You still do your part, but you stop picking up their slack. It's about setting boundaries and teaching others how to interact with you. Swipe culture. It often feels like a giant game of chicken. Who texts first? Who shows more interest? But a match isn't a single round, it's an iterated minigame. So how do you apply tit for tat? Open cooperatively. Send a thoughtful first message. You're signaling genuine interest. If they mirror that with an engaging reply, fantastic. You continue to cooperate. If they respond with one-word answers, they've defected. So you mirror. It's like adjusting your voice in a conversation. If they're whispering, you don't shout. You lean in and whisper back. If they give you low energy, you match it. Don't overthink it. Don't chase. Energy balances fast. If they escalate their engagement, you escalate yours. If they continue with minimal effort, the chat will naturally fade. The beauty is you've saved yourself precious emotional energy. You haven't spiraled into overthinking or feeling rejected. You've simply observed the game and adapted your strategy. Same cheat code, now with a lot less frustration. As powerful as Tit-for-Tat is, it's not a universal solution. There are two critical exceptions. Knowing when to switch gears is the final boss level. Exception 1. Exit costs are sky high. This is when the other player has overwhelming power. Think of it this way. Tit-for-Tat works when players are on a roughly equal footing. But if an abusive boss can obliterate your career with one phone call, it's like they have a bazooka and you have a water pistol. Mirroring their aggression is not a winning strategy. It's a suicide mission. In these scenarios, the costs of retaliation are too high. You might need to focus on self-preservation or quietly planning your escape rather than direct reciprocal actions. Exception 2. The game is ending tomorrow. If you know for a fact this is the last interaction, the math reverts to the one-shot prisoner's dilemma. Reputation no longer matters. Think of it like the last 2 minutes of a basketball game. Suddenly, intentionally fouling the other team becomes a smart tactic because stopping the clock is more important than the penalty. In these specific endgame scenarios, your last day at a job you hate, the final car ride with an ex, the incentive to cooperate vanishes. There's no future relationship to preserve. You protect yourself and prioritize your immediate gain. Quick pause here. If this is already clicking for you, and you're starting to see how these ideas can transform your daily interactions, I've done an even deeper dive. I have a video that specifically explains how Tit-for-Tat can fix tricky family drama without turning Thanksgiving into a hostage crisis. Seriously, that video should be popping up on screen right now. Go check it out after you finish this one. It builds directly on what we're talking about. Once you start looking, you'll see game theory everywhere. It's truly the invisible hand shaping so much of our world. Why do airlines overbook flights? They're playing a one-shot game, betting that individual passengers won't be able to coordinate. They defect by selling more tickets than seats, maximizing short-term profit. But when passengers started colluding on social media and demanding higher payouts, the game iterated. Airlines had to raise their compensation, proving that even corporations are susceptible to the power of repeated interaction. Ever heard of eBay sniping? That's game theory in action. Instead of bidding incrementally, you wait until the last possible second to place your highest bid. It's a strategy designed to play a one-shot game effectively, preventing the other person from reacting. Even nature uses it. Vampire bats share blood meals, but only with others who have shared with them in the past. If a bat consistently fails to share, it won't receive blood when it's hungry. It's biological tit-for-tat, ensuring reciprocal altruism. Biology runs on mirrored cooperation. You can too. All right, here's your homework. Pick one recurring annoyance in your life. A lazy coworker, a flaky friend, or someone who always seems to take but never give. For the next 30 days, consciously run tit-for-tat. Start with cooperation. If they cooperate, you keep cooperating. But if they defect, they're late, they don't do their share, they take advantage, you mirror their move in the next interaction. Don't be aggressive, just reflect their level of cooperation. Log your observations, even just quick notes in your phone. I bet the instances of defection will drop significantly. And when they do happen, you'll spot them faster and be able to walk away cleaner, without the usual emotional baggage. You'll feel a weird sense of calm and control because you're no longer guessing or reacting emotionally. You're running code. You're playing the game with intention and strategy, not just hope. So, there you have it. Life isn't random, it's just incredibly multiplayer. Most people are just mashing buttons, hoping for a lucky break. But you now have the cheat sheet. You know the code. Start nice, mirror their actions, and forgive quickly once they cooperate again. Game theory isn't about turning you into a cold, calculating robot. Far from it. It's about empowering you to stop the endless cycle of surprise and frustration when people act exactly like the math predicts they will. It's about understanding the underlying currents of human interaction so you can navigate them more effectively and more successfully. Use the code, win the quiet games, and suddenly, the big ones, your career, your love life, your finances, all start feeling a whole lot more playable. So next time the world tries to ghost you, or snitch on you, or stick you with the check, just smile to yourself and think, I've read the rule book, and you, my friend, just activated my tit-for-tat.